Good morning and welcome to today's teaching on an influencer. And the question I want to ask this morning, are you an influencer? But let me introduce myself to you this morning. My name is Influencer and my surname is a world shaper, one person at a time, one influencer at a time. And I know you're going to enjoy this morning's teaching. Just another question. What do the following people have in common? Mother Teresa, Princess Kate, Julius Malema, Vusi Tembakwayo, Pablo Picasso, Lionel Messi, Lucas Radebe, Penny Haynes, Sia Kulisi, and I can go on and go on with giving you names. All of them have one thing in common. They are all influence makers within their communities, within their nation, within a global perspective. And for many decades, some of them have been there for many decades. Others are now standing up and make a difference. And your name can be added to this list if you take hold of this morning's teaching and make a difference wherever you are and whatever you do. A quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "Every man is a hero and an oracle to somebody. And to that person, whatever he says has an enhanced value." And this is what we need to do as leaders. Make a difference in the lives of people that you are surrounding yourself with. Is your desire to be successful or to make a positive impact in your world? You need to become an influence maker. And this is hard work. It's not coming easy. And I want to show you a few things regarding influence. Every one of us has influence. Just be negative, just be depressed or upset. You will influence the people around you. They will also become what you are. Without influence, there's no success in life. Without influence, a leader cannot make a difference in his organization or his department and the people that he is leading. So influence is not the same with everybody. We need to know the people that are around us. Know their love language, know their strengths, know their weaknesses, know their trigger points. So we cannot lead everybody exactly the same way, but we may never compromise on the truth. We can never compromise on leadership principles, but how you package the leadership principles is important. And through this, you will lead them differently. So influence and respect and trust are hand in glove. The one needs the other. You cannot influence somebody else if they don't trust you, if they don't respect you. And that can only be earned through the relationship that you have with your subordinates or those that you are mentoring. So the important thing to understand is that the people respond to others according to their level of influence. So if you are an influence maker and your level of influence is here, people shall follow you up to this level. If you want to increase your leadership influence, your leadership impact, raise the bar on the influence that you have. And to explain this a little bit more, I want to go to one of the gurus of leadership, and that is Dr. John C. Maxwell. I've been part of the Maxwell Company since 2003, thereabouts. Been training leaders right across the globe in different sectors, in the church, in government, in the private sector, on leadership principles. We have trained more than, I think it's 28,000 people over the past 10 years only. And I believe so much in leadership development that I've changed my study course into leadership. I've done my PhD in 2008 in leadership in international politics. I've also done my doctorate in theology in 2016 on the journey of a new believer to come to a place of spiritual maturity. In other words, again on leadership and the role of the spiritual authority, the pastor, the reverend, the bishop, whatever title you have, that influence that you have to establish the church and the leadership in the church. So this is how much I believe in leadership. So I want to quickly, briefly take you through the 5 levels of leadership. Just the 5 levels of leadership. If you unpack it more thoroughly, it is an hour and a half, 2 hours session. So I have only a half an hour this whole morning to do the whole teaching on leadership and on influence. So I just want to mention the 5 levels of leadership. And the lowest form of influence or the lowest form of leadership is positional leadership. People will follow you because you have to. Because you have the title, you have the corner office. So as a leader, you are focusing on your rights. I am a leader, I'm the supervisor, I'm the boss, you shall follow me. And they have to, because you pay them. But they follow with their body and not their mind. They are following because not of the respect they have for you, but for the salary. So that's the lowest form of any form of leadership, is my positional rights. So your effectiveness will not extend beyond the job description of your employees. So if you want them to walk the extra mile, we as leaders must walk the extra mile. We need to grow beyond. And the law that Dr. John Maxwell mentioned here is the law of the lid. So my life, my leadership capacity will determine my team's effectiveness. If your team is not producing or performing at a higher level, you raise the bar, you raise the lid so that you can provide for them a room to grow in and to mushroom, to grow, thank you Tony, to grow beyond who you are. So the second level of leadership on influence is permission level. So the permission that we need to function in here, people will follow you beyond their job description because they want to. As a leader, we must focus on relationships. I don't say we must focus. This relationship is nothing to do with familiarity or friends. It's about impact. It's about influence. People will follow you beyond their job description, beyond your stated authority. They shall take you and they shall believe you to go to the place of change. And the law that's linked to this permission is the law of connection. Touch the heart of your subordinates, your staff, before you ask their hand. In other words, connect with them. And once you are connected, they will want to follow you. And they don't have to follow you because of your status or your title or your office or your position. So that's the second level of influence. The third level of influence is production level. The people will follow you because what you have done for people is what you are doing. People observing what you are doing beyond your job description. When you take care of people, when you become other people centered, when you're walking slowly through your office, know the people. They understand who you are. You understand who they are, and you know if something is wrong, and you can immediately address that social issue in their life. Yes, you pay people for their production, but their production is influenced by their social life. If they have problems at home, or they have problem in their finances, they are depressed, they are sick or ill, it's a better word, it will influence their productivity. And if you as a leader know that, you can connect with them. So go and touch them. The fruit of your connection will motivate people. That's the big motivation. You can give people a salary increase and they will be motivated. But they will be motivated for a few months. Then that new thing, the new salary, the increase is gone. And they are already looking for the next increase, the next promotion. So you cannot motivate people effectively from outside inward. You motivate people from inside outward. You must motivate them from their personhood, from who they are. And then they shall follow you. And the law that's connected to this level is the law of respect. People follow leaders who are stronger than they. If you are a strong leader, say for instance you rate yourself as an 8 out of 10 leader, you shall attract people up to a level 6 leader. You can never lead people that are higher than you on the leadership levels. If you want to be effective, raise the standard. So everything boils down to you and me, to raise the standard of our leadership. So the next one, the fourth one, is reproduction. And this is a level that is very tough to reach. People will follow you because of what you have done for your community. Just think about that one. What are you doing in your community? In other words, beyond not just your job description, but beyond your company. What are you doing for your community? As a leader, you must focus on reproduction. In other words, reproduce who you are. Nothing is more confusing for your staff than to hear one thing from your mouth and they see and observe a different action. So when your actions and your words are crashing, colliding, you know, I've missed out, and people will follow what you do and not necessarily what you say. So start reproducing yourself in other leaders. If your leaders are not at setting the right standard, change the example. Show them what to do beyond your job description. And when we think back on staff, I'm going to say something radical here, and please listen to me and hear my analogy. Very few people start in a company because they believe in the vision and the mission of the organization. They are seldom joining a department because of who the leader is. They join the department or the organization for the money. So they are selling their labor in return for money. They will do what their job description requires of them to do. And they will not walk the extra mile. They don't sacrifice. They're not willing to lay down certain things. So if you want to be effective, you must change the attitude of your staff from selling their labor for money to the place of investing themselves in the organization. And what do we call people that sell their body for money? Yes, you're right. They are prostitutes. And how many of us are prostitutes in an organization because you are only there for yourself and for your own money, and you don't do more than your job description? And if you want to stop prostitutes joining your department, start to reproduce. Start to reproduce. Set the example of somebody that is not selling their body but is investing themselves in the organization, and the money is the reward of your investment That is the return of your investment. You don't work for the money, but you do, and you are rewarded for what you're doing. And the law connected to this level of influence is the law of explosive growth. It's like a snowball. It slowly gathers momentum, one employee at a time, one staff member at a time. And as you start to invest and invest and invest, that person will grow, and others will see, wow, look at this man's growth. I want to do that as well. And the second one will come in, and the third one will come in. And for the past 18 years, my wife and I are doing exactly this with the people in our church. We have moved away from congregants, and we have ushered in a new season of sons in the house. So suddenly they don't come to church to receive. They come to church to bring a new flavor, a new grace to the church. And the people are connecting because they see the fruit in our lives. I'm not boasting. I'm not blowing my own trumpet here. I'm just saying this is the example that we have are setting so that others can reproduce as well. So that is the reproduction. And then the last level of influence, very, very few people ever reach this place and will ever reach this place. And if you just think about this, people will follow you because of who you are and what you have done. In other words, your life becomes an example for others to follow. I remember in 1994, with the release of our late former president, Mr. Nelson Mandela, there was a Mandela fever in our country. Not just in our country, globally. He was seen as an icon of reconciliation, an icon of hope. And even last year, our national team, rugby team, still wore the 4664 number, his prison number on their arms, 20 odd years later. That is a person with influence. That's beyond the job description, beyond their level of influence, beyond what they have done for people, beyond what they have done for their community. They are people who are influencing a global atmosphere. Mother Teresa is another one. And then, yes, the following one, you will frown upon me and say, how is this possible? Yes, even Adolf Hitler. He influenced the whole world. He started World War II. I don't say influence is always positive. It can be negative, like in his case. But he has set and he has influenced not just his nation. He has influenced other nations. He has involved numerous nations in a world war. Influence. So as a leader, you don't focus on my rights, my privileges. You are focusing on become a transformational, transgenerational leader. So long after you have left, Mr. Nelson Mandela has passed away for many years now, and still his example is being honored, like in July with his birthday. 67 minutes of impact, 67 minutes for your community. Long after he has passed away, he still has an impact. So transformation starts with me as the leader. I must transform my example. I must transform what I do. I must help others to change. I must help others to grow. I must help my organization to excel. I must help not just my organization to excel within itself, but within the community. And there are so many organizations today that are impacting their social environment, that they have a social fund to do upliftment work. And this is leadership. This is influence. These are the 5 levels of influence, but there are also a few stages of influence as well. And I'm nearly done. Just relax with me. The first stage of influence is modeling. Set the example, as you've heard, in the different levels of influence. Model this. People are first influenced by what they see. Not just through words. Many people can promise many things, but they cannot produce what they have promised. And if you just look at the televisions and global politicians, and you'll see, my goodness, it's the same thing all across the world. There are so many promise makers and very few influence makers. The second stage of influence is to motivate. People are motivated in what you do. Yes, nice words can stir up an emotion in you, but it will only last until your voice is silenced in their mind. But it will not transform your life. So if you want to motivate people, you need to motivate them to become a bridge builder between themselves and you, to help them to make the transition from average to excellence, from job description to transformational. And through your life as a transformational leader, you are generating confidence in people. You're raising their sense of self-worth. And a person with a sense of self-worth will never settle for mediocrity. Mediocrity is the grave of production. Mediocrity is the grave of the place where nothing happens anymore and it keeps on forever. So, and the third stage of influence is mentoring. Now take somebody else by the hand. If I arrive at a leadership seminar or a financial seminar in my Bentley GT convertible, people will pay big money to come and listen to me because there's a fruit in my life. And if there's fruit in my life, people ask you, will you mentor me? I am doing beyond being a pastor or a leadership coach. I'm also a life coach for organizations, for business owners, CEOs, where I sit with them. And these are the things that I'm investing in their life. I can't teach them a lot about business. I can teach them life skills, interpersonal skills. Mentoring is when you are pouring your life into other people, helping them reaching their potential. Not for your benefit, for their benefit. And that's the change. That's the mindset that needs to take place. If you raise up a next generation to reach their potential into their fullness, you shall benefit even in your organization. You don't do it for the organization's benefit, you do it for their benefit, and it will be a spillover into your organization. And sad to say, very few leaders are doing this. Very, very few. And the fourth stage of influence is multiplying. So I've mentored, I've set the example, I've made an invite, or people came to me and we sat down. And when you start to multiply and mentor and multiply, don't make it easy for them. Elijah said to Elijah quite a few times, turn around, go back, don't follow me. And yet he followed. I think Elijah thought to himself, what must I still do to offend this man? If you can generate commitment, faithfulness in the hearts of people, you shall excel in raising and multiplying the next generation. Because how many times had we just to get our head down, pull our weight, and do our thing? So many times you've been discouraged, but yet faithfulness and loyalty made you persevere. And perseverance builds character. Character builds commitment. Commitment brings favor. Teach these principles. Don't just make it easy for everybody to walk up and to grow up, because sometimes if you make it too easy and people get into a leadership position, you will battle to get them out of that position. They will do more harm to themselves and the organization than they will benefit, because we have not done our job as a leader. As a multiplying influencer, you help people to help them to multiply into somebody else, to become a positive influencer in the lives of others. Pass it on. Not only what you've received, but also what you've learned and gleaned from your life. Invest in them the secrets that are not necessarily dotted down in books, but the University of Hard Knocks. So we have now listened to the levels of leadership, the stages of influence, and now in closing, I want to give you some elements of influence. There are 10 elements. I'm going to mention them, not going to expand a lot on it because my time is running out. So the first element of influence is integrity. Let your yes be your yes, your no be your no. Integrity is your best friend in leadership. Commit yourself to honesty, reliability, and confidentiality. Don't major in the minors. Focus on the right things and remain focused on this. Then the second one, nurture people. Take care of them. People is any organization's most valuable asset. You will never be able to reach your dream if you don't have people that are investing themselves in your dream. And when you have that dream and people are investing in this dream, enlarge the vision so that they can live out their vision within your vision, so that they will be able to dream dreams within your dream. And if your dream does not scare you, it's not worth pursuing. The third element of influence is faith in people. Most leaders don't even have faith in themselves, and COVID-19 has proven this. A resilient leader has faith in his abilities as a leader, as a businessman, to stand up even under the challenges of a COVID-19. And I've just finished my latest book. I think it's my 16th book I've just finished. And the title of this book, I think it will be published within next month. The title of this book is Derailed Leadership, a COVID-19 collision course. And now, post-COVID, we realized how much we have lost as leaders, as companies, because we have not been prepared for a chaos, a storm in our lives and our businesses. So, and that has influenced our confidence. So most people can tell when someone else has faith in them. Show that you have faith in people and help them. This is number 4. Listen to people. Listen. By listening to people, you are gathering information to help them to help themselves, to help them to raise the standard, to help them to become influence makers in other people's lives. People say so much by saying nothing. Listen to what they say and don't say. Empower yourself with this. Number 5, understand people. Once you understand people, you know what makes them tick. Then you can switch those switches and you can switch them on. And the 6th one, enlarge them. Enlarge their capacities. Raise their standard of living. Increase their capacity for growth. Increase their potential. so that they will become a greater asset to your organization. 7, navigate other people. So it's easy to plot a course if you are steering, but for others to follow the course and they do not know where you are going, they will be very reluctant to go. They will be skeptical. They will ask skeptical questions. But if you are able to plot the course and show the course to your staff, to help them to understand the journey, it will make your navigation so much easier. You don't have to pull them constantly back into line, because they know where we are going and they trust you, they respect you because of the person you are, not the person just because of your title, not just what you've done for them, but what you've done for others and what you've done for your organization. Now you understand why I've said your different levels of leadership, your different stages of influence. It's all needed when you navigate people. It makes your job so much easier. Number 8, connect with them. Connect with their hearts. Remember I said connect with the heart before asking the hand. Build relationship and you shall see. You're asking them to come alongside them. Say, come, join me. I've got a dream. I have a dream not just for myself. I have a dream for you. I have a dream for the next generation. Travel this road with me. For then there shall be mutual benefits. Number 9, second last one. Empower them. Now you give them the tools to do and to run and to plot the course for the next generation. Now you have multiplying them, setting them up for success. And if they fail, it means we have not done our job of empowerment effectively. And now we can stand back at the last one and say, I've reproduced. There's nothing more fulfilling for me as a leadership coach to stand back and to look at those that I've been coaching, them reaching a success. Over the past nearly 20 years, we've raised up, trained, established, restored 20 pastors back into ministry. We have been training more than 28,000 people over the last 18 years. And to see them flourish in their business. I still stand in relationship with the people that I visit in Suriname, in Angola, in India, Australia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Namibia. Mention the places. Once I leave there, I don't leave their life. I keep on plowing back into their life, keep on connecting them for no benefits, just because I want to care. So thank you this morning for watching an influence maker. I want to close this session with the same question I've started this morning. Are you an influence maker? And if you are, keep on the hard work. Keep on the good work you are doing. And if not, make a decision today. I'm going to take this teaching, I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to become an influence maker in my organization, with my staff, in my own life, and beyond my capacity or my role or responsibility as a boss in a company. But I'm going to make a difference in my community that will spill over into the nation and globally. You can. Don't think any of the names I've mentioned in the beginning started off as influence makers globally. They started off by accepting the responsibility where they are, and they enlarge their capacities of influence, and they become an influence maker globally. Enjoy the journey, one leader at a time. God bless you.